really loved that video. Teni produced, directed, did the entire thing all by herself.
Yeah. I didn't realize how long it was. I was like,
So I'm Claire Buxton. I'm Director of Brand Communications for Maybelline New York, and I am so excited to be here with my favorite beauty influencer, Teni Panosian. So Teni is here today to talk about a little bit how she got to where she is. And Teni, you and I both graduated with degrees, college degrees in communications.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, not that long ago, really. And I don't know about you, but the word social media influencer never really came up in any of our college courses.
No.
So tell us about how you got to be where you are today, and really, how did we come to this point in our industry?
You know, I got my bachelor's degree in communication, and then I got a master's right after. And at the time, I thought I was going to go corporate. I thought I was going to go be an ad executive, be a consultant. But it happened to be 2009, 2010, and the jobs were the worst they'd ever been. So I figured if there was a time to take a risk, it was then. And I'd always wanted to write, so I decided to start a blog. And at the time, there weren't very many blogs around, and social media didn't really exist at the time. But about a year and a half later, I started my YouTube channel, and then slowly the Instagram came along, and then now people take it seriously as an industry on its own, and not just, you do what?
And great, so unlike a lot of people in the industry, you don't seem glued to your phone posting 10 times a day. Do you plan your posts and videos significantly in advance, or is it simply just when the mood strikes you? And do you have a technique that you feel inspired to share?
You know, for me, I'm really focused on quality over, just cranking out content. Mm-hmm. I'd like to be able to do both, but for me, it's just more when inspiration strikes.
And how does feedback from your followers play a role in the content that you create?
I would say it's probably one of
the
biggest, yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously I need to love what I'm doing, but I definitely take feedback from them. If they want to see something specific, I get to work and I do it. But yeah, I think it's a balance of both.
Yeah. So when you Google Teni Panosian, the autofill adds natural makeup. And so is that a moniker that you eagerly embrace, or do you feel like natural beauty is just far too simplistic of a phrase to accurately describe what it is that you do?
My essence really is just to be as minimalist as possible. I just think I feel most myself when I have less makeup on. So I think the people who come to my channel come for a very particular reason, is they either are the everyday woman who just need a simple routine, or maybe like a mom who just doesn't have that much time to put on makeup, or someone who just appreciates more natural beauty. So, I mean, I definitely venture out and try different things, like Halloween sometimes I will, but for the most part, I think the general vibe is just minimalist.
So with that said, you have 5 minutes to get ready in the morning. What are your 3 must-have products?
100% a sunblock, because I can't leave the house without sunblock. For sure, I would say a brow product, because I feel like brows just really pull the face together. It's something that frames the face, and I just like grooming them and making them look nice and polished, especially if there's not much else going on.
Yep.
A good lip product, and just like a couple of swipes of mascara.
Great.
Yeah.
So to most of the general public, Maybelline's probably best known for its iconic slogan, "Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline." And in 2015, it changed to "Make it happen." So how do you feel that social media has really empowered women to make it happen for themselves outside of the traditional structure of careers in the beauty industry?
I mean, to put it simply, we're creating our own path right now. We're not following any formula. We're all basically just doing what we want. And for the most part, it's things that are inspiring people to also not be afraid to do something brand new, and not, instead of following a mold. I think that was the biggest challenge, really, starting for all of us. Anybody who's in social media is, wow, nobody's really done this before. Is this going to be okay? So it was a risk, So I just think it empowers people to feel like, whatever's in their mind, they can make it a reality.
Yeah. And do you feel that the conversation around beauty trends has become more democratic, or do you feel like ultimately there are still members of the old guard or celebrities who are really setting these beauty trends?
I feel like it's all on social media now. It's all there. I mean, trends kind of begin and end there. So I think it gives people a lot of power, which is great.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
And so I know you're going to do a mini tutorial
Yes,
for
I
us
am.
today. So can you tell us a little bit about the look that you're going to create?
So surprise, surprise, it's going to be a natural look. I've got my base on already. I don't have my brows on. I don't have anything on my lips. Again, because brows and lips are just my two go-to things that I always do no matter what. I'm just going to show you how I groom my brows and just give you some options for different ways you can style your brows, I guess.
Great. So
or make them up. So
let's go over to the makeup station and try
grab
it.
my faves here. What do we have? This is Unreal.
Yep.
Why don't we do a little highlighter too? Why not?
Why not?
Give it a
Let's
little
throw
pizzazz.
it in.
All right. So for the brows, I'm going to begin with brows. I've got these in my hand, the Brow Precise by Maybelline. This is a fiber volumizer. So if you've got more sparse brows, you can sort of bulk them up a little bit in a natural way. What I like to do is these set your brows just like a brow gel would, but it's got like a tinted fiber to it. So I take the lazy girl step and I fill in my brows and groom just with this one product, which I don't know, are you really supposed to do that? Or is that just
You
something
can do it. Most people use 2 brow products.
Yeah,
You do a
so I use
pencil
one.
and then finish with that.
I bring it down to one step. So I have the color Auburn in my hand and also soft brown. The reason I have 2 colors is because I kind of want to show people how to use it in that ombre way where it's a little softer in the front and then it kind of fades into a darker brow. So I'm going to start with Auburn first.
And I think while Teni's demonstrating that, we're going to be taking some questions from the audience as well. So
Just to show you the brush too. It's like a flat brush and it's got really short bristles. So I'm going to start right here at the front of my brows. And right now, I feel like it's kind of trendy too to have these feathery,
absolutely
bold brows. So I'm going to really make my brows stand up and brush them upward. And this is a good trick if you have thinner eyebrows and you want to make them appear thicker. Just brush them up in the front. Get this hair out of the way. And this is actually tinting them slightly lighter. And just that feathery look, I've always been a fan of. I just think it looks so good. So now that I have the Auburn on, I'm going to switch to the soft brown, which, again, is going to fade into just a little bit of a darker, bolder brow. I just think it looks really strong when in the front it's like really, you know, bold and dark. So yeah, I'm going to use soft brown here. And you'll see by the end, my brow just will look so much thicker compared to the other one because, again, I'm filling and grooming and setting at the same time. So especially here at the tail end, I'm really pressing that brush against my brow hairs so that it sort of takes the fibers and like thickens up. And then using the tip, if I have any bald spots, which I have a lot of, I can just fill in. So now if you look at the 2 brows, you see the difference. This one is just a little more polished. It's definitely thicker. It's got that sort of bushy, feathery look. And this one's just a little more natural. So you have options. You could use just the one color. You could do both. So let me do the other brow so I don't look crazy. And actually, I'm noticing I need to replace mine because this one is so much more like new and smooth. Mine is definitely, I'm definitely running out. So yeah, by making the brows stand up like this, and the formula does a really good job of just in a very natural way making them that feathery, sort of tall look. And then now going in with the soft brown, go back in and make the rest of the brow a little more bold and fill in that tail. And then this way, if you've got a long day, this will set your brows and they won't move. I mean, this is going to be your brows for the rest of the day, no matter what the weather is, no matter what you're doing with your face. Pretty happy with that. And again, if you have any bald spots, just go in with the tip of the brush. And there it is. Pretty quick. And again, you could use just the one color if you wanted to. I just like it to look a little more soft in the front. So now moving on to lips. So I'm a big fan of neutrals, and especially since we're moving into fall now, I think it's a great time to go back to neutral colors, whether it's a matte color or glossy. I personally prefer glossy just because it is a little more comfortable to wear and a little more, again, on the natural side. This is the Vivid Hot Lacquer by Maybelline. It's probably my favorite color you guys have ever made. It's the perfect nude, universally flattering. It doesn't have that much pink in it. It's very, it almost looks like coffee if you put creamer in it, which is exactly what I think a nude lipstick should have. So this, I don't even add liner, I don't add anything. It's a very comfortable wear. I didn't even realize how dry my lips are right now. And it's got a super high shine. Oops. And it's not a tacky formula. Sometimes lip glosses can tend to be sticky. This just has a really good sort of slick feeling to it. It almost just feels like a balm on your lips, but the shine is just really, I don't know, I think it's perfect. So
super pigmented.
yes,
too.
very pigmented. It's not like a sheer gloss, it's a very opaque gloss. So that's it. This would be me leaving my house. Done deal. And it didn't make too much of a difference. I still look like myself. Just made little enhancements. But makeup, that's the thing about makeup. If you want to leave the house every day with a full winged liner, do you? That's the beauty of makeup, is everyone can sort of express themselves the way that they want to. So
I think we have a question over here.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know, how long do you think women should keep their makeup? Because I've heard that every time you use mascara, you should wash it after. So I just wanted to know, how long do you think women should keep like foundation, mascara, and eyeliner?
So I think the general time limit, I would say, is about 3 to 4 months. That's what I've heard for years, and is what I think makes sense. Mascara, this is why I love, mascaras like Maybelline's, because they're at a good price point where you could switch them out every 3-4 months and not be like, oh, this is so expensive, this is costing me a lot of money. So especially for your eye area, not so much with foundations. Foundations, you could probably go a little bit longer, but anything that you use in the eye area, I would give it 3 to 4 months and then replace it because you don't want to risk like bacterial infections in your eye. So yeah, that's about the general time frame, I'd say.
And I think we have one over here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm just curious, what are you looking forward to for the New York Fashion Week the most?
Gosh, every year it's something different. I think this year I'm looking forward to, I think just going to different shows. In the past, I've been to some of the same shows, and I just would love to see some different designers this time around and see what makeup's coming down the runway. I personally would like to challenge New York Fashion Week to go outside the box a little bit, because at London Fashion Week, I remember seeing so many really crazy productions out there for a show that lasts maybe 15 minutes, and I just really appreciated that. So I'd love to see something a little bit more, almost theatrical. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for being here. So which particular fashion designer or makeup artist did you look up to?
Gosh, I would have to say, I don't know, ever since Black Swan, Rodarte just stole my heart. I just love how romantic and just beautiful and feminine everything is that they make. And Natalie Portman is one of my favorite actresses, so I don't know if it was that she was wearing it, but it just was the perfect marriage. So I love Rodarte, I love Marchesa, Elie Saab. I mean, you could tell my style. I just love beautiful gowns. As far as makeup artists, I'm a huge fan of Charlotte Tilbury. Mario is a fantastic makeup artist. I've worked with Erin Parsons. She's incredible. Pat McGrath is not only an incredible makeup artist, but she is the sweetest, kindest person you'll ever meet. So it's really nice to be able to meet all these people in the industry that you just sort of look up to, and they end up being just the nicest people. Hey.
Hi, I am such a huge fan.
Thanks.
I'm a fragrance blogger, so I want to know what fragrance you're wearing first.
Okay.
And I also want to know, when you're creating content for YouTube, do you also have your blog in mind first, or do you have your YouTube audience in mind first?
So first of all, my fragrance today, I'm wearing a perfume oil by Maya Fragrances. It's kind of unique because it's a base oil first and then layering on the, I don't know what you call them, overtones or whatever it is that goes on top of the base. It's just, I'm not really used to really feminine scents. I like really bold, like Tom Ford Black Orchid. I love that one. But yeah, it's just so, it kind of lingers too. So throughout the day, if you like move your arm, it's a really nice, comfortable scent. But I would say really YouTube, because I have found you could tell from that video, I'm not an editor, I'm not, a DP, I'm not a producer, but I have such a passion for it and I want to learn so much more about producing video content. It just really it's a lot of stimulation for me that I need and love. So I just want to kind of challenge myself to do more of that video content. Yeah.
Great. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. But
Thank you guys
thank you
so
again,
much.
Teni, for joining
Yay,
us.
Thank you.